everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and today I'm taking a look at 6 small games here of sorts. 6 games I played so you don't have to. And that makes me sad, because with almost all of these, I really want to like the game. I mean, they're so close. But they're just not games that I think are worth getting. But hey, maybe I'm wrong. Either way, let's take a look at each one of these and see what I think of them. Karakum is a little game, or Karakum, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Gather your resources and create the most valuable caravan to travel through Karakum Desert. A 2 to 4 player game, 15 minutes here. Seems pretty decent. Let's check it out. In this game, you have different resource cards that are various colors and camels that match those colors. You also have this card that you put in front of you, and on your turn, you have 2 different options, actually. One is you can take some resource cards. You can take 2 resource cards. So I take this red, which is immediately replaced, and I might want to take one off the top of the deck. These are wild, so they're the best, but if you take one of these, that's the only one you're going to get. If you pull them off the top of the deck, though, hooray. So you add these cards to your hand. You can also discard cards from your hand to take a camel in the middle and add it to your caravan. So maybe I'll discard a single wild here and take this blue one, which, incidentally, gives me a free resource card when I take it. Hooray, when you do this, I'm going to put it behind my caravan like this, and these are going to move over and a new one will be revealed. This matters because the camel that's there makes all the other camels that are the same color cost 1. So why this was here, this purple camel would have cost 2 purple resources. Now the red camels cost 1 extra resource, a tax of sorts. Now the next card I take needs to be either a blue or a 1. If, for example, I take this 3 purple, that's fine. I have to put it in front, though. It's only going to get me half points at the end of the game. But let's say later on I bought this blue 3 camel. Well, then this one can move to the back because now the 3 matches the 3, a little bit like Uno. And that's what you're going to do. You're just going to keep doing this so the deck runs out. All these camels are going to give you points equal to the value of them. The camels in front will give you points equal to half of their value. And whoever has the most points is the winner of the game. Hey, you know what this is? This is Ticket to Ride the card game. That's really what Karakum is. It's fine at best. 6 out of 10. And that's me being generous because it is so short. But there's nothing here. Collect resources, turn them in, get cards. You're like, but strategy. Now it's Ticket to Ride card game Uno. Because you need to match the last card, and sometimes that card comes out. Is it worth it to get a bunch of 1s to get extra resources? No. I mean, there is a tiebreaker for the longest camel trains. That might matter. Is everyone's score pretty much almost the same at the end of the game? Yes. Is it horrible to play? No. Should you buy it? No. I'm going to forget about this game almost instantly after talking about it here, which is unfortunate. So it's a little game. If someone's like, hey, do you want to play it? And there was no other game around, maybe, but I wouldn't buy it. So that's Karakum. Alebrijes is what they call here, it's a trick-taking game. It is not a trick-taking game. This is a card-shedding game, and we have to be careful not to confuse those because they're very different. But you're trying to get rid of all the cards in your hand. And look how colorful this is. This game has a fantastic look to it. Let's see. In this game, players are going to have a handful of 10 cards. The cards are numbered 1 to 5 in 4 different colors, although there's also some wild cards in the deck. On your turn, you play a card. Then each other person has to play something better than that or pass. When you pass, you can discard 0 to 2 cards from your hand and draw the same number from the deck. When you pass, to play something higher, I could play the same number of cards, but a higher number, so I can play a 5 green, or a higher color. So here, pink is higher. The next person could play a 1. Any pink is better than green. And the same thing can be done here with orange. Now, what's better than orange? Well, we go back to blue again. However, if you want to play something better as blue, you need to play 2. So, because you have to play 1 more card. So here I can play 2 blue 2s. So this is a wild, so it counts as a blue. And now the next person would have to play 2 blue 3s or 2 blue 4s, or they would have to play 2 pink of something. So maybe they play 2 pink of 4. This keeps going until nobody can play, and then we start another round. Now, A couple things here to keep in mind is once there are these special symbols here, these Olin symbols, and when you play a card one of those, everyone has to draw a card. If you play 2 of them, then you can choose. Everyone else draws a card, or you discard a card. If you play 3 of them, nothing happens. So you can play as many cards as you want from your hand, as long as they're the same color and the same number. And you're trying to get rid of your cards, although cards will keep coming into your hand. But eventually, somebody is going to get rid of all their cards. At that point, everyone else looks at their hand. Let's say this is my hand, and I take the highest card of each color. That's how many negative points I'm getting. So 7, 8, 9. Oh, I got a 5 wild. So 12 negative points here. The other blues, oranges, and wilds don't count. And whoever went out, of course, has no points. You're going to play through 3 rounds. And whoever has the fewest points after 3 rounds is the winner. Wow, this game is drudgery. I'm giving this one a 4 out of 10. It is so unfortunate because you play a card and they're like, oh, you played a 3 pink. Well, I need to play a 4 or 5 pink or an orange to beat that. Okay, I don't have those. So I'm passing. I'll discard some cards, draw some cards. And this just goes on. And every time someone plays one of those cards with the stars, everyone draw another card to their hand. And it just takes forever. And then eventually someone plays the orange card and someone beats them with the blue card, but they got to beat them with an extra card. And then no one can play 2 cards. And the game just drags and drags. And it shouldn't here. On the side of the box, it says 20 minutes. This is the longest 20 minutes. There's nothing here that feels strategic. I mean, the trick-taking thing is non-existent. It's getting rid of... And there's so many of these card-shedding games out there. I just can't really recommend this one. But it is sure pretty to look at. But that is the only thing this has going for that. Even, I mean, someone just gets lucky and gets rid of cards. Everyone's like, well, all right, I got minus 8 points. Yay. Yay. Belratti, the Forger. Ooh, this is a party game. It is an older game that I guess is just coming across my desk now. I guess Cosmos just reprinted this. And this is a game in which you are guessing is something art or forgery. Except the forgery is done by the computer. Belratti, you'll see. In this game, you're going to take turns each round. Some players will be museum curators. Some will be artists. The computer is always Belratti, the Forger. And everyone's going to have some cards in their hand that are various objects. And so what's going to happen is the museum curators, and this will be like every other, you'll change each round. One turn you'll be a museum curator, the next round you might be an artist. So you'll turn over 2 things, and then the museum curators are going to ask the artist to give 3 to 7 cards. And so they're asking the artist to give cards that meet the themes of these pictures here. So the artists are going to look through at all their cards, and you can talk, but you can't say exactly what's in there. So let's say, for example, that we'll make it easy, that the museum curators asked for 3 cards. So they got 3 cards, and then Belratti is going to put in 4 random cards from the deck. And then you're going to mix these cards up and reveal them. Now we need to figure out which of these cards go with which painting. We know that in this case, you've asked for 3 of them. So now they're going to be choosing the paintings. The painters can't say anything. So it might be like, well, there's a mouth with fangs. Nothing here really seems fangish. And there's dice. That's a game. Well, this is a game. This is a mouth. That's kind of monstrous. So we'll put that there with the monster. So we split the paintings up here. And now we check them. So we would get 1 point. Everybody gets 1 point for each painting that goes to the right theme card. So yes, yes, but no. The other one was bucket because a bucket of water went to someone's mouth. However, Belratti got a point here for this forgery. And so we put it on top of Belratti's card. Everybody draws back up. You pass your roll card to the person on your left. You're now a new roll, a painter or museum thing. And you keep going, you discard all cards used, and we draw more. When Belratti has 6 or more paintings on him, by the way, if you picked the game painting and put on the wrong thing, you don't get any points for it, but Belratti doesn't either. But when he has 6 paintings on it, the game is over, and then you just count up all the points you've got, and if you have gotten 15 more points, you win. And you can even look at this chart to see how well you've won or lost. There's also jokers that players can use, and these are going to let you do things like switch cards or have fewer cards from Belratti. When you use it, you'll flip it over, and you'll need to have a perfect round, which means the museum directors here ask for 5 cards or 4 cards, whatever the number is, and you get all of them exactly right, and then you can use that joker again. You can also play with some more complex rules as deciding how to pick the different paintings, but that's basically how the game works. I wonder if this game would be more interesting if Belratti was a human, but it wouldn't work that way because it would have. How would you tell the forgery? I don't know. There's just something about this game which is just kind of, you look at the cards, you put out the categories, and there's discussion about why people put what they put. This is like 80 party games in the last 4 or 5 years have done this. Many of them have done it very well. This is not very well. I'm like, it's a banana. They put out an apple. Those have to go together. No, it was Belratti's forgery that was randomly put out. Well, how am I supposed to know that? I'm not supposed to know that. That's where I have a problem with this game. It's because you just literally, the 4 cards that come randomly out could match wonderfully. And there's no way to know. You're like, but you have those, those little wild things you can use down there. But I wouldn't even guess it at. If an apple comes out and a banana comes out, I'm like, done, those match together. But they don't. I really dislike this game. This is a 4 out of 10 for me. And the only reason it's higher is because some of the people I played it with did seem to have a good time with it. And I do like that you switch the characters that you play. But again, why am I not playing Mysterium or, all these other different games? And I don't love this genre. So keep that in mind of this whole, I'm passing information along to you. But I'm not saying anything, doing anything, blinking. You just have to look at 2 pictures and somehow break into my psyche and figure it out. Nah. Belratti, not for me. Sorry. Birdie. Now, I like the little Gaetion games. I think I love their box cover. I love their artwork on them. I love that they always have some card in them, a single card, which gives a little cartoon. In this one here, you're matching them. Pegasus has picked this one up. Let's take a look at it. In this game, you have a deck of cards that is full of birds. There are 4 different birds matched with 4 different seasons. And each player is going to have 2 cards in their hand, and there'll be 4 cards in front of you. And you have 3 things that you can do in your turn. One is you can pass, and then you're done for the end of the round. And the game's going to end when someone gets to the stop card anyway. And then, or you can take a card and add it to your hand, or you can take 2 cards from the middle and put them on your score pile. And when you do that, take any cards from your hand and also add them to your score pile. This keeps going. Once everyone has passed, you're going to reveal the cards from your score pile in a line. So let's say I have these cards out like this. Now, your line might be longer than that, but you're trying to make groupings here. So I might say, here's 4 autumn. Here's 3 of the spring, but here's 4 pigeons. Whichever ones I pick, I can decide to do birds or seasons. I'm going to score for those, but I can only score for them once. So I'm not going to necessarily do it as much as I can. Each time I score, I get points here. So you can do 1 giant group, but you'll get fewer flat points on the side. The more groups you do, the more points you get here. And once you do spring or owls or whatever, you can only score them once. So in the second round, you may not, if you get a bunch more of spring and you did like 5 spring the first round, you might not get more. And then you'll just add all your points together. There's also special abilities you can do with these birds. Copy the lowest value you scored this round to any empty box. Before creating sets, draw a new card and add it to your line. And then there's an expert rule where you have to pull a card out that matches things on 2 different sides, and then you can score them. Like here I would score the autumn, and I would score the woodpeckers. And then keep smashing your line together. It's a little bit more complicated, but hey, you can use your special abilities twice that way. Most points is the winner. I should also mention whoever has the highest bird of each type takes these birds, the highest number, and you'll take it from someone else, and these are worth extra points at the end. Well, there's some ideas I like in here. By the way, you talk about that advanced way. No, it is so mind-bending. But this game is memory. That's the thing, it's memory. I'm taking cards and putting them down in a pile and hoping at the end I can make a chain. But that's not my biggest problem with this game. My biggest problem with Birdie is the fact that why are we all at the same table? other than for you to draw the cards I want. You sit there, you draw some cards. I draw some cards. The only thing that's going to matter is they put in those little bird tokens. They're like, ooh, whoever has the most steals that from the other player. Uh-huh. I want an owl, but John takes the owls every time when it's his turn. The only way I'm ever going to get an owl is if one comes off the top of the deck after him. It's just not interesting at all. You just draw. Put them out. You score points. I don't care. Then some of the concepts are interesting, like, oh, you can only score spring once. You can only score owls once. But not interesting enough to make me want to play it. It's not fast enough. It's not fascinating enough. And there's some other little memory games, some done by this same company, which I think are better. Birdie, just not a game I think that is that interesting. A 5 out of 10. Tale of Tales. In this game, you are a mighty warrior going through a dungeon. You're also a dog. Sort of. Let me show you. At the beginning of the game, each player is going to pick which character they're going to be. These centaur dogs of sorts. They're really kind of creepy. Where'd those arms come from? Anyway, they each have a certain amount of symbols, and they have a special ability and a color. So let's say I play Bonk the Mighty, and I get 5 paws for round 1. You'll get an extra paw for each round. And what players are going to do in their turn is they're going to be drawing the top card of a deck and placing it so that one entrance connects to the dungeon. So you're just going to keep doing this until somebody decides to run out. Now, some of these cards are going to give potions, some are going to give coins, some are going to give monsters. At some point, you're going to decide to run out. 2 dragons. Goodness gracious. Here's a mosquito. Here's a stray raccoon. And it's just going to be random what you find. Treasure chest, Cerberus, etc. Now, let's say, for example, I found Skeledog here. On my next turn, I might decide to run out of the dungeon. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to go to this room, claim a coin, claim a coin, claim a coin, claim a potion. Potions are things that you can use. And then fight the Skeledog. To fight the Skeledog, I need these 2 symbols here. I have these 2 symbols. I then am going to take this card and tuck it here. Now I have another symbol. That's going to help me because you see, to fight this dragon, I would need a whole lot of symbols here. It's going to give me 4 coins, but that's not too great. If you do go through a monster and you can't fight it, they will destroy your shields, and each player has 3 shields. Also, I can spend a token, this character, to break through a wall or door, so maybe I couldn't get somewhere, and I'm like, I'll smash through a door that way. There's all sorts of things. There's traps that you need to disarm to get through. There's lots of different monsters. Some spots have coins, but a door, you can't go through that door unless you have a key, like the mosquitoes give you. There's also going to be treasure chests that you'll find, and you can't open those unless you also have a key. Sometimes you just find an item that gives you extra goods that you can do. So you're going to put these out there, and the first person to run gets to decide their path first, and nobody else can go on that path. Once everyone's collected all their stuff or run out, at that point, you'll start a second round, get an extra pull token, and a third round. Players are also starting the game with some ways that they can score extra points, some quests. Like every mimic you defeat, you get 2. Or every Ifrit you can defeat. Or this one here, have the most trophy fireball symbols. And then there's also going to be some place near the board that everybody can do. There's a bit more to the game, but really the game is just about building a dungeon and deciding on your turn if now should be the time you run. So I don't know what's up with the centaur nature of these dogs. I guess that's fine. Like, I get humans are a human mixed with a horse. This is a dog with a pair of hands. Anyway, the art is kind of cute. I don't hate the art. But you know where this game just falls apart? It's just random. It is so random. If I draw, it starts at the very beginning of the game, you get 2 quests, and they're like, you should pick one that matches your symbols. You're like, good idea. Oh, neither of these do. And meanwhile, Bob next to me is going, yeah, I'm good. Great. Then we just draw some cards, and I'm like, well, these aren't enemies I can even fight. So why would I even go through those enemies? Just to stop you? You see the key and the treasure chest. And you're like, oh, well, I won't put those near each other. So you're trying to build a dungeon. It's such a weird thing. You're building this dungeon together, and you're building it in such a way that you can run at it, but you don't want to help anyone else run out of it. So you don't really build it optimally, and everyone's doing that. Finally, one person runs out, and then they make it worse for everybody else because now they took out half the good stuff. And I'm like, I guess we'll just keep drawing until we can get out of here or something like that. There's a lot of games where you like push your luck style games. Welcome to the Dungeon's a really good one. This has that same feel to it, but the luck is so crazy high in here. I just cannot recommend it. So there's some interesting concepts here, so I give it that, but the rest of it, 5 out of 10, Tales of Tales. Hastilude. This is a game about getting a knight and getting the equipment for that knight. Yes! I like games like that. A Euro worker placement style game. Here's how it plays. Here's the board for Hastilude, and I have to say, I had the biggest laugh out loud moment when I saw that it goes from 1 to 98, and that somehow the graphic designer of this game couldn't figure out how to go to 100. It goes from 1 to 20, then to 49, then to 69, then to 98. I don't know how that happened, but the graphic design in this game is not fantastic as is anyway. On a player's turn, they're going to start with some workers and knights. And each player is going to be taking turns placing their workers at different spots on the board. And their knights can go on various spots on the board. So why would you go to different spaces? Well, these top 5 spaces here give you resources. Stone, forest, tannery, copper, iron. And you got to be careful in this game. There's also a resource called the King's Favor. Do you see it? It's this one, white. And these are gray stone. Anyhow, if you put one worker there, you'll take 1. The second time you put a worker there, you'll get 2. And the third time you put a worker there, you'll get 3. That's how the top 3 resources, iron and copper, the first 2 workers get you 1. Then your third and after, you'll get 2. You can also go to the market to buy resources, 2 resources for a gold, or sell 2 resources for a gold. So that's a way you can get gold. You can also send knights down here to get gold or King's Favor. And you can send people onto these order cards or quest cards to get them. You can also send over here to get more weapons. The cost of the weapons are here. So for example, if I want to build a level 2 armor, I need to pay 3 leather and 1 copper. And then I will just go through the armor and find a level 2 and take it. Everyone has a level 1 knight to begin with, but you can pay gold to put a worker here, and at the end of every round, they'll move over until you get another knight. You can also go over here to buy more workers each turn so that you have more of them to put out on the board. Why are you sending knights out? Well, if you get orders, you can send a knight out and you just deliver this stuff. That has to be the strength of your knight, and then that's how much gold you will get. And these quests get bigger and better as the game goes by. You can also send them out on a quest. Here I need a level 1 knight with a level 1 armor. If I send that knight on a quest and I have those 2 things, I get a victory point. Well, here if I have a level 1 and a level 2 knight, a level 1 sword, and a level 1 shield, I will get 3 victory points. If you enter the tournaments, putting your knight down here, you have to have a level for that tournament. And each tournament has a separate little deck of cards that will be shuffled. So this is the thing for levels 1 and 2. We'll go down here. You'll get a victory point no matter what, but then you'll draw a random card from here, and that tells you how much you need to have, at least that much strength to get to win the tournament, and multiple people can win. So here you need to have 3 strength, but it does go all the way up to 8 strength. So if I draw 6 and I have level 1 knight with level 1 shield, level 1 weapon, level 1 armor, that's 4, I'm still going to lose. You'll still get 1 victory point, and if you tie, you get 1, but if you win, you get 2. And the higher your knight is, levels 3 and 4 go here, level 5 goes here, the more points you can win. You'll keep doing this for 10 rounds, and after 10 rounds, whoever has the most points is the winner. Oof. So here's the thing. I really would like to like this game, but I don't. I'm giving it a 5 out of 10, and I think that's high, and that's because I want to like the game. But the graphic design is abysmal, not just going to 98, but everything. All the cards look the same. The cubes, the white and gray, almost the same color. Hard to see spots on the board. The rules are badly written. The rules say things like, put your knight on a black space. Like, there are no black space on the board. Oh, it says black border around the card? What? Oh. They could have just easily given this to a graphic designer, and that would have brought the whole game up by a point. No kidding. It looks terrible. The artwork doesn't help. But after that, you're collecting resources. Okay, I like the idea of putting more workers out and getting resources, putting workers out in. But turn 1, you got to get another worker. You got to get another knight. You got to get some gold in the king's favor because you need that to go on the better quest later on. Sending your knight out to a tournament is so random. It's insane. The fact that they have weird rules, like a level knight, a 1 knight can only use level 1 armor, maybe level 2, I don't remember. But level 2 and higher, they can use all the levels of armor and swords and stuff. Why? What? That doesn't even make any sense. Why can't 1s use 1, 2s use 2s and below, 3s use 3 and below? It was just there's just some weird rules that mixed with it. It's muddled. It's messy. And why would I play this over the many other games that are like this? There's lots of worker placement games out there. Architects of the West Kingdom is another game that also get resources to build a cathedral. I like this theme better. I like the idea of sending knights out, but it's just so messy and muddled. It has spaces that don't even work, like the market. Spend a gold. Gold's really valuable to get 2 resources. I'm never going to do that. But spend 2 resources to get gold, that's great. But then there can only be so many of each resource in the market before you can't sell anymore. So the first people to do that get a benefit. Then the market just stagnates until it's kind of reset each turn. At the end of the game, you have lots of gold maybe. But at that point, it's still not worth it to get the resources unless you need 2 different ones because you just go to those spots. So why is this market on the board? Make it more interesting. Make these spaces more interesting to go to. I'm going to spaces because, well, I have to. Like at the beginning of the game, everyone needs gold and favor, and so everyone just goes to those spots in the bottom. You can't even block me from getting a worker, so that's the last space I'll put one of my guys on the turn. Yeah, it's just kind of messy and muddled and makes me sad. Hastilude. Like I said, I got to give it a 5, but I want to like it so much more. Well, there you go, folks. I bet some of you are saying right now, Tom is wrong. Well, that's fine. Tell us in the comments what I'm wrong about, which of these games you like, or maybe you do agree with me. I don't mind hearing that too. But there you go. Those are 6 games I played so you don't have to. Thanks for watching the Dice Tower. I'm Tom Vasel. We'll see you next time. Hey everybody, thanks for watching another video from the Dice Tower. Hey, you want to learn more about us, communicate with us? We have a Facebook group, we have a Discord channel, lots of different ways to get involved with the Dice Tower. You can find that in our Linktree link below. So just click that, it will take you and you can communicate with us on Facebook, join our Facebook groups. There's lots of cool things that you can find and become part of the Dice Tower. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Vasel.